What's up, Stone Mace Warriors? It's been a while. I took a little mid-season break, but we're back at it. And of course, I'm always really excited to have everyone on here. And today I have Frank Dimeo. He is founder of Mace Fit, and you can check him out at macefit.com. He's an author now, which is really exciting and something I want to get into, of the newest book called Slinging, the story of Mace Fit, and then he has two other books. And then he's the owner of The Cave, located in Sarasota, Florida. Welcome, Frank.
Hey, thanks, Victoria. It looked great to see you again.
Yes, I'm so excited. And by the way, if you're barely getting into the podcast right now, Frank is not new to the Stone Mace Warrior podcast. There's actually an episode with Frank back in September of 2018. That was a while ago.
Yeah, without a doubt.
All right. So Frank, let's talk, man. Let's like catch up. What is going on with Mace Fit? What's going on with you?
Well, we can kind of backtrack to the virus shutdown. When we get ordered to close back in March. So I would determine that we would continue to train, but to train really, really strong people and people who are not so strong, it was going to take some special kind of gear, which was the Adex maces and clubs.
Right.
So I went in my car. We went to local parks and we trained for about 2 months straight. We were running 10 or 11 classes a week. We never missed any workouts at all except for when we get rained out. And that was a great thing. So we could just continue on. And because of the versatility of the Adex, really strong guys could get their butts kicked, and really weak, or new, or old people could start with a manageable weight that they could learn with. So the Adex supplied all that. So that made it really a great thing to do. So that's how we got through the shutdown, thank God. And
I saw video footage, and I was like, right on. They're still doing their thing. And in case there's a new listener, the Adex mace is adjustable, right? So that's kind of like what you're talking about. It's adjustable. You can take it with you anywhere, and it just obviously it worked out for you guys, right?
Absolutely. Thank you for explaining that, Victoria. I forget sometimes, but I'm so used to talking about it that.
Yeah, we get used to it because we're like in the mace world. We're immersed with it. It's totally cool.
So we had, actually I wrote a book about that also. I wrote a book called Regroup, shutdown proofing your gym. And that's about what we did and how we went about it. And in case we have another shutdown, we're all set. If anybody is not up on how to go about that, buy the book. It's really cheap. It's packed with information on how they also can survive the shutdown and keep training people in person, not just online. Okay.
Right. That's really awesome that you brought it up, because I've noticed that everyone was like freaking out, right? They're all freaking out like, oh man, now I got to go online. So maybe if they buy your book, they're going to get information on how to keep that physical part or physical aspect of training live, right?
Yes. Like I said, the book is purposely not priced very high at all. It's like $2.99 or $3.99 or something like that. I forget.
Yeah.
But so people can get a hold of it and study it and see how this is all, what actually happened, where we went, how we did it. We had quite a few workouts posted in there. And so it was, I look back and say, it was, fun time. So wrote a book, had fun doing the stuff. And now we're back at the cave, slinging steel over here.
And I'm really happy to hear that you're one of those gyms that got super creative and kind of found your way out, because sadly, because of COVID, there's been a lot of gyms that have shut down.
I appreciate it. It's well, we both know this. We're doing this a while. There's more than just exercise, and it's good for overall life and the way you think and what you do, and for your health. I'm writing a new book called Lifelong Strong.
And man, you're writing so many books. I can't even catch up with you.
The crazy thing is I've loved writing since I was like in grade school. So it's always been a hobby of mine. And so actually the whole writing thing got spurred by one day. My first book wasn't a training book, unless you're married, then it would be a training book. It was but it was my wife in the medical field, so during the shutdown, she's like crazy busy. So I had to go do the food shopping that week, and on the shopping list was yellow pepper. So there's a whole book written about the yellow pepper experience because it got all screwed up over that one thing, which I couldn't find. Went back. Like, you couldn't find a yellow pepper? I go, no, you didn't say a yellow pepper. You said yellow pepper. I looked at 2 stores and asked a bunch of people where yellow pepper was. So I bought lemon pepper. That's yellow.
Oh Lord.
So a book spawned out of that, and then it was, during the shutdown, the other book just started. It just came so easy. It just like one right after another. I got like 5 books in a row or something like that, and I had time to write, and I was just writing. I was still training people, but so we got to, Slinging Steel. We got Regroup. We got Aging Ruthlessly. I wrote one kind of a spiritual book called Religious. Jesus was not a Democrat or a Republican.
That's right. I think I missed that one actually, but I saw it on Facebook. So that's interesting. I like that you're putting out so many books. But I'm assuming that which one's the bestseller right now? It's the Slinging Mace, right?
That did good. They're all running kind of equally. I think the 3 books about training are doing the best. Okay,
right.
The one about marriage and the one about spirituality are not moving that much, but they can.
Right.
People know they're there, and not because they can't be afforded. They're very, very cheap.
So tell me a little bit about the actual book about Mace Fit, about slinging, what is it? Slinging steel. There we go. Slinging steel, the story of Mace Fit. Tell me a little bit about that one. So in case someone's listening and they want to check it out.
Yeah, that is actually how I first got connected with Donnie Drafadino, which went back to a product review being done online by Chip Conrad and Dave Paul on Adex, which I had never heard of before. So I was like, I'm watching this thing, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Never seen this before. And so I typed in the comments, I think I got to get a club. Well, I'd never met Donnie before, and he writes in, I have a club, like, talk to me. So I did. The next thing you know, we got a workshop scheduled at my gym, and he throws a bunch of Adex in his vehicle and drives all the way across the state of Florida to do a free workshop for me, and that was in January 2016.
Wow.
And that's how it all got started. Then we went on from there. He came back and did a second workshop, and then in the course of events, I was introduced to Valerie Pulowski, and Valerie. She was also helping, Donnie was mentoring me, and Valerie was. And she introduced me to Rick Brown. And so Rick Brown, I signed up for Rick Brown's online training, and I was with him for about a year and a half.
Wow.
In Rick's training. And that's the short version of the story, but that's
so it's kind of like obviously the story of Mace Fit, like how everything kind of came together, which is a great story. I mean, you guys are, to me at least, you guys are big names out there. You guys are doing your thing to grow the Mace community, and I honor you guys for that. So that's really cool. I'm going to have to give it a read for sure.
But the crazy thing is, when we started our certification, it was like, some people might think like, who the heck are you to do a certification? Blah, 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 It's like, sometimes people think like because you're new at a certain aspect of training that you're new.
Yeah.
Okay. Overall. And that's like, I started training people as an assistant martial arts instructor over 50 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, 50.
That's a lot of years. Yes.
A lot of years. So a lot of it was in martial arts, and I trained people in the military over quite a number of things, and then strength and conditioning world for almost 20 years now. So it wasn't like a lot of what we put into Mace Fit was drawn from my previous endeavors and who I learned from, who mentored me. Like Zach Avanesh was a big influence on me, and Bud Jeffries, Jed Johnson, those 3 guys all really influenced how I train. And I had some other excellent coaches along the way, in addition to the ones I already mentioned. Like Rich Lansky was a big influence on Olympic weightlifting, a tremendous coach. So all this kind of gets distilled down and applied to Mason and clubs. How we write programs and the whole deal was all just a end product, the synergy of many things coming together at one point in time.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes Mace Fit so different, because honestly, your system is very different than a couple of the other ones that I've taken. So, I mean, and I love the club aspect. I love that you guys combine both the club and the Mace, which is really unique to that.
Yeah, the club is so versatile, you know, and I love the Mace. Don't get me wrong; I've never diminished the importance of that, but I think the versatility of the club is because of their length and being weight adjustable. You can do so much that you can't do with it, you know.
Right. No, yeah, the lever length, right?
Yeah, it just doesn't fit in so well with how your body moves and how long the Mace is. It's just not going to happen, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So that kind of all blended together, and you know, plus we wanted to do, in addition to, of course, swinging a Mace or slinging steel, you know, we also wanted to do isometrics and isotonic exercises, which are very slow moving, and which I actually picked up from one of my martial arts areas of study with Russian martial arts and Sistema. After like a couple of decades in a different way of training, and the Sistema exercises, a lot of them got very, very, very slow, purposely, and you know, at an extreme mechanical disadvantage, and they're excruciating, but they really, really work. So we do them with the clubs, and it's a blast, you know.
Yeah, no, I said for like first time listeners, like what are some benefits of mixing clubs and maces, and what are specific benefits of the actual club in case they want to like walk that path?
Well, for a lot of people, the club, because it's shorter and easier to learn some movements with a club, which you can later on apply to the short mace or the regular length mace. A lot of them cross over, and there's of course there's ones that don't, but the clubs are just a simple tool. You strip it down to its lightest possible weight, which is about 3 pounds, or you can load it up to 25 pounds. Then if you get some big gorillas that want to have a lot of weight, you can take them up to like 55 pounds, and you can work. We're a strength-based training system, so yes, we want, you know, it's still cardio without running. There's plenty of cardio in there, but we want to build strong people. So that's why we like to use heavy stuff as much as we can, and the clubs are ideal for that.
Yeah, and I suppose like clubs, when I think about clubs, it's like the next level of a dumbbell, I feel, because it's the same thing like with a mace. It's kind of the uneven weight distribution on it.
Yeah.
It's way more challenging, I suppose, right?
Yeah, the clubs are, you know, because most of your club work is, a lot of it is one hand, you know. And yes, we do two-hand exercise also, of course. And, you know, it's like with the mace, you can do one hand or two-hand exercise with a mace. But just the simple fact that because it's shorter, you know, you can talk to Dr. Tony Lamont about the differences in the lengths and all the torque and everything else. The guy, but I'd call him a genius. He might not call himself that one, but he's brilliant on write out all the different types of forces on each kind of implement at different weights and lengths and all that stuff. And he'd make a great guest on your show.
I'm going to have to check him out. I'm going to have to check him out.
He's a brilliant man. But he goes into torque and centrifugal force and centripetal force, all these things on all these different implements like we use.
Yeah.
So they do the clubs, without trying to, you know, be confusing to anybody. You can just get them in more planes of motion, more movements than the mace will go in, because they're short.
Right. All right. Right on. So going back to, you know, Mace Fit, I know you got level 2 coming out, which I'm actually really excited about. And you kind of commented on it before we started the podcast. So I'm excited to kind of, for listeners that are already Mace Fit fans, what they can expect from it. And are you going to go online with it?
Yes, the Mace Fit Level 2 is actually underway right now. And what that will, when a person passes that, they're allowed and equipped to do Mace Fit certification on their own. So
Right on.
that, but the thing of it is that people can't volunteer to be a Level 2 candidate. They have to be picked, have to be selected. And that it's a very, very difficult certification. It's it's a lot on leadership and team development. And like I was mentioned earlier, there's three books that are required to be read and tested on in the test, on the
Wow.
just the written part of the test. And then we have, of course, a hands-on testing, which is, hour and a half, 2 hours long or so, depending on how they want to go about it. So it's very, very demanding, very mentally demanding, especially. You gotta know the principles in those leadership and training and teamwork building books, or you'll never pass it.
Right on. I mean, so far you have one student who passed it, so I'm gonna give him a high five, right?
Absolutely. That was James Woodall up in North Carolina. And James is an amazing guy. I've known him for a long, long time by way of Zach Evanesh and Underground Strength Coach certification. We're both certified that way. And we met each other many years ago. And we stayed in touch. And then, probably around 10 years ago, James got leukemia, and he'd been battling it ever since. Yet he still just forged ahead anyway. He made incredible progress. He runs a great gym up in Clayton, North Carolina called Woodall's Fitness and Performance. And he got everything done before any of the other candidates ever even came close. So they're still trying to get done. He's already done. So I'm really, really proud of him. So he led the pack despite the cancer and everything else. So
Wow.
yeah, he's a real cool.
Yeah, maybe I'll ask him to get on the podcast, huh?
Oh, great guy. Yeah, definitely would.
Yeah. So in other words, you have to do level 1 first, and then you hand pick level 2s, right? That's how I kind of got it.
Right. Level 1 is the basic skills, basic coaching, and that type of stuff. But level 2 is developing an organization. It's not, can you swing a mace? Of course they can swing a mace. They wouldn't have been, we're at the level 1 if they couldn't. They have to have like a time, should have 2 years under their belt anyway before they can be considered for a level 2, unless they have a lot of prior experience somewhere else. Like some people do. Some people were like really early into it, and back like when Scott Sonham was first coming out in 10, 12, I don't know how many years ago that was.
Yeah.
But so we want some. It's kind of like the military. You got to have a certain what's called time and grade before you're eligible for your next promotion. You got a minimum number of years before you can move up if you're picked to go up. So it's very similar in that regard.
That sounds awesome, though. That sounds like something anyone can work up to if they work hard for it, right? All right. So I want to talk about Vintage Strength Games, which is happening online. I know this must have been a recent update because I was checking them out last week and I didn't see anything unless I missed it. But tell me a little bit about that, because I know you're part of that organization, right?
Yeah, that's the people behind the Vintage Strength Games are Valerie Pulowski, Brad Hutchins, Donnie Garfadino, and myself. And now Lionel Lamarck down in Miami is helping us out quite a bit with that also. So first Vintage Strength Games, actually they used to be combined with a kettlebell competition years ago when Valerie was heading up that thing, but they were always attached to another organization. So the first Vintage Strength Games we did independently of anybody else was in Manassas, Virginia in 2019. Went off really well, and that was a great one. Second one was down in Miami at Lionel's Gym, Lion Strong. That went really well. And so we planned the third one to be at the Tampa Convention Center August 29th. But because of the virus and the location being downtown, which would just get jam-packed with people normally, they had to put the big expo on hold, and consequently we couldn't hold it there. So shifted gears to go online with a virtual fitness strength games. And the cool thing about it is it's going to be international, of course, and they have also built in where people can. We were set up originally for Adex only and competition, but since there's going to people from India and other places where they're going to be allowed to use Agata, and
wow, that's going to be interesting. Do you guys have anyone from India so far signed up for the Vintage Strength Games?
We don't have that many people signed up yet, but
Okay.
a lot of people are procrastinators. The people doing, they're not complaining. They're delaying doing things.
Yeah.
It's a culture we live in.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think you'll have a real good turnout. We're gonna have a few people from the cave, of course, will compete, and it's just a great, level playing field for people anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested to see how you guys are going to end up doing that live. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little bit like technical, and difficult. And I'm crossing my fingers, but yeah, I'm excited to see how you guys work all of that stuff out.
Getting all the scoring down is going to be a bear. That's going to be hard, but especially if it gets really, really big, scoring everybody in a timely manner is going to be a real chore. But our technical, I'll call him a genius once again, is Brad Hutchins. He's the extreme detail guy on everything IT. He just he does stuff I don't even imagine doing. He's
Right.
which is good because we're all different that make up this team, and Donnie's big on the logistics, getting the supply of mates and clubs there, and I'm just me. I just like programming and stuff like that. And Valerie's the flamboyant one with she's always got something wild going on, and
she is pretty wild, man.
Yeah.
I'm always on Facebook, and she's always live swinging mace, doing kettlebells, and then she's drinking her, I don't know what that stuff's called, but she's always on that pre-workout. She's on it, man. She's inspirational. I'll tell you that right now. She got some energy.
That girl's on something. I think it's called AIM.
That's so awesome.
I know.
Though.
Well, you know what? And Valerie's mid-50s.
That's insane.
She's an animal, she's a beast, and she just really, but she's a blast to work with. She's a lot of fun, and like I said, there's only one flamboyant person on the team, and that's her. And that's good. One is good.
That is really awesome. No, I really love her. And by the way, if you guys are listening, I just want to let you know that I do have a podcast episode with Valerie if you want to check that out, especially women, if you guys are listening in, you guys are going to love her. Check out her episode. But back to Vintage Strength. So I have some questions. So there's standard competition. This is okay, so you guys are breaking it down into different events. I see the 300, I see the 360, I see a long cycle club mill. So you guys have a variety of things going on for that, which is
yeah, they kind of have increased with each time we do the games. The first time we did them in Manassas, Virginia, we had 6 events. In Miami, we had 8. And I haven't totaled them all up for this one yet, but it's going to be, because of the varied types of people or areas that people will be competing from, I know there's going to probably do some things here more than we didn't do in the last 2. So, and that's the real innovators on that end of it would be Valerie and Brad, and they both do a fantastic job. They're on the nitpicky little minute details on this and that, and they're like, okay, I'm glad you guys are here. They can do it.
That's awesome.
They all do things the rest of us can too. So, and vice versa.
Well, I'm super excited to see how that turns out. I'm excited to can people just watch it? If we wanted to watch, or is it just competitors are the only ones able to attend the event online?
It should be live streamed, but I'm going to check with.
Okay.
First, I'm going to contact on that is Brad Hutchins. So see how he's plans on doing that with so many coming in from so many different places. I'm not sure how he's going to pull that off.
Okay.
Or if it's going to have to be archived and shown later, I'm not sure.
All right. Well, I just had to ask. Other than that, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, let's see. Well, I already mentioned I got new books coming out, and that's not directly related to the Mace, but
Yeah.
I got one coming out about books. I said lifelong strong. Now that has a lot to do with the Mace Club. And I
Okay.
got another one called Tales from the Road, which is about my Harley Davidson years.
All right.
That was a different world back then for me. So
Wow.
yeah, that's it won't be boring, but I won't go into all the gory details in the book. But it would have had I say that Frank Dimeo BC before Christ, and things are a lot different now. So
That's a
a
good
lot
one.
more calmer and not so. But a lot of the memories are still there on the crazy stuff we did, the fun stuff, the stupid things, and so it'll be entertaining. And then
Well,
I
I
may
mean,
be
if someone wants to learn about their sensei, right? Someone wants to learn about the coach and the guy behind Mace Fit. I mean, that's a reader. I don't find that boring. I might just read it.
and they got one more that just didn't start yet, but it's called Tales from the Sky, and that's from my years as a paratrooper with the Army.
Oh, wow. That one's going to probably be even better, huh?
That'll be fun. So they're all in process in different stages of getting off the ground. But Lifelong Strong will be done first, and the other ones will take a little more time to write.
Right on. Well, I'm excited for all of that. Where can people check out your books, or where can they find more information about you? Macefit.com, right?
Macefit.com is going to have the bulk of the information. But as far as the books go, they're all on Amazon Kindle. And if you don't remember the titles, you can just punch in my name, Frank Dimeo, and they'll come up.
All right. And I'll make sure I add them in the description. If you guys are listening through, a regular podcast app, you might not find it there. But if you go over to stillmacewarrior.com, I'll add all of the links to your books. That way it's easier for everyone, right?
Very cool.
Right on. So, I mean, other than that, I mean, I'm excited about everything that's coming out with Mace Fit, Vintage Strength. And, I'm glad to be part of it too. I'm wearing Mace Fit right now.
Yeah, there you go.
Woo!
Absolutely. Yeah,
Add
absolutely.
to
We're glad
support
to
your
have you
Mace
on
Fit.
the team.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm so glad I had you again. Other than that, I mean, they can find you on Instagram as well. Is it at Frank Dimeo, or I already forgot your Instagram, Graham?
Actually, I have 2 pages. One covers all of our training, all the different kind of training we do here at the cave. I opened up one just for Macefit called 2 Sling Steel.
Okay. All right.
Just Macefit stuff.
Okay, I'm going to look it up and add that in the description as well. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, Frank.
Appreciate it. That's it was fun and an honor to be on the show. And you're a great host. You ask really good questions and very engaging personality. So it's fun talking with you.
Thank you. May the universe always flow with you.
Thank you, Victoria. And you stay blessed and healthy. Be safe.
You too.